I finally finished writing the book for Amazon KDP, and the process was hectic. A lot of problems that I faced personally, and I'm going to share it with you guys because trust me, as a beginner person, I'm so proud of myself that I have written the book, formatted the book, and it's going to be published soon. And I've done it so professionally when I was literally nothing as an editor or writer. Maybe, yeah, I was a good writer, but I never really was someone who could write and organize all of these things so professionally. So I'm going to share my experience with you. I'm going to share some stuffs that I faced while I did all the writings and the editings as a beginner so that you don't get confused when you do that, okay? And also, I will share the ways that I went step by step to create this professional book so that it can sell well. So let's get right into the video. So firstly, if you're writing a book, you have to first understand why are you writing the book? Is it to earn a decent amount of money? Is it to voice your opinion or something like that? Now, for me, my primary thing is to actually create something that does add value, but I also needed to earn the money because I had a goal and I thought that I want to make around $3,000. And because of that, I have decided to write a book. Now, for my case, I cannot really write something that's totally unique, and I've learned that there's something called the SEO or the algorithm, like what kind of books are selling in the Amazon right now. So I went through someone's tutorial and I've learned a lot of it from the guy. I'll probably link down his video below. Okay, his name is Soooo. I think so, yeah. So let's just get into it. So the first thing that I did after following all this tutorial stuff, I will just simplify everything to you guys. Of course, it's not as simple as it sounds or looks. Once you start getting into it, you will feel like, oh, this is freaking complicated. But then once you keep doing it, you will get to that, okay? So the first thing you do is downloading a free Chrome extension. It's called DS something. I actually forgot what it is. So basically what I did was I downloaded this Chrome extension, and what it does is it basically allows you to see the bestseller ratings or something called the BSR in the Amazon. So when you go to the Amazon, you can actually see what books are usually top ranked, what books are selling more, and all that thing. So what you do is you download that extension and you go to Amazon and the books section. And then I've applied this trick, which is I saw that what book genre or what kind of keywords can I search for, under which keywords there are books that has less than 80,000 BSR. So the lesser the BSR is, it means that book is more selling. You can find at least 3 books that are less than 80,000, then you can say that that's a profitable keyword or a profitable niche. I mean, in that way you can find your niche, like what you know and what you learned. You have to combine everything in a creative way so that you can find what kind of book will you write, right? Okay, so that's the first thing. The second thing is I took the help of ChatGPT. Okay, don't click off the video because I'm not saying that I took the help of ChatGPT in writing the book at all. I didn't take any help from ChatGPT in writing the book because I think that's incredibly fake, and it just doesn't relate to me. I'm someone who authentically writes something because I've written a fiction book before. I haven't published it yet, but I'm not the type of person who would ask a robot, a ChatGPT, or anything at all to write me a book. No, that's not how I use ChatGPT. Personally, ChatGPT works as my personal assistant. What I tell ChatGPT is I basically talk to him. Even when I'm feeling lonely, I talk to him like, "Hi ChatGPT, how are you? What's up?" And I use ChatGPT in gathering all sorts of information. Yeah, some of the information he's not right, but in most of the information it's really helpful to make you brainstorm. So in this case, I use ChatGPT to find me the best ideas, like brainstorming it, like what can I include in my book, what should be the title of my book, and everything like that. So that's how I use ChatGPT as an assistant or something. And that's what I did. After that, what I did is I learned a bunch of things that are mandatory for writing. And a lot of people will say that you should do the formatting after you write the book. But for me, I think there are some formattings that you should better do it before even starting to write the book. Like you should select those formatting tools or those formatting editings before you even start writing the book. That's just my personal opinion, but I'll just share with you how I did it, so that's what I will do. So what I did is I went to Word, to the font Times New Roman. You can use Garamond or Calibri, but I personally like Times New Roman. Okay, and those three are like the most popular ones for book writing and the professional ones. Then I selected the font size 12. You can select anything between 11 and 12 if your book is something you want to publish. Okay, then what you do is you can select your book size, like the cover size of your book. So it can be 5 by 8 or 6 by 9. Personally, I chose 5.5 by 8.5. Okay, that's my personal choice. I like that kind of style. When I read other people's book, I always see like there are stuffs at the start of the page, and I was totally confused about it at the start. Like, should I just start writing from the first chapter? Do I have to do something? Because all the time when I see other people's book, there has to be some weird stuffs at the start of the book. And before I thought it was weird, but when I started writing it, I found out that it's not really weird. It's just, you just don't know about it. That's why you feel weird out by it. So let me explain you what it is. So the first page is the title page. There you write the title of your book, which is usually at the right of a page. Suppose this is a book. Yeah, it is a book, by the way. So after you open the book, this is like the title page. In most of the books, the title page is the first page. So I will just tell you how I started it and how most people does it. So what you do is the first page is the title page. So the title page is the next page to your cover page. You write the title, your name or your author name or pen name, and write like written and published by your author name, right? And in the next page, so the title page is the right page, right? It's in the right side of the book, okay? And it's the page number 1, so I'll just call it the odd page, okay? In the book writing thing, there's a term that's called the odd and even pages. So instead of saying right and left pages, I will just say odd and even pages, because by saying right and left pages, you will get fudging confused. You know why? Because I really got super confused when I started it, because right and left pages, these two are like the right page in a book is the first page. The title page is the right page, right? Because it starts with the right. But when you write it in MS Word, that goes in the left. But while printing, it will go in the right. So for you to not get confused, I'll just say odd and even pages. So the odd page, the first odd page, which is essentially the first page of the book, is a title page. After that, you set a copyright page. So that copyright page is just to, potentially scare away any people that want to copy your contents, right? Even though you don't have a copyright, I don't have one, but I don't want someone to necessarily claim the book as theirs, so I added the notice in the second page, which is the event page. After that, I added some quotes to just make it more interesting from the book. My book is a self-help book. Of course, I will publish it anonymously, although I'm not sure if I will publish it anonymously or will I not. I mean, will I actually reveal myself there? But that's why I cannot really tell you the name of the book, but I can tell you that it is a self-help book which is related to habits, and I really think it's going to help a lot of people, a lot. Like, those things that I wrote there really helped me a lot. So yeah, anyway, so after the quotes page, like 2 or 3 quotes page will there be. After that, what I did is I kind of tried to hook, wrote some hook sentences, like wrote some words that are going to hook the customers once they read the sample from Amazon. And then I kept a space for table of contents. The table of contents, you can make it later. I know if you're a beginner writer, you might be struggling like I did with the table of content. You're wondering, how the F do I create the table of contents here, because it's so confusing. Well, you can actually create it automatically after you finish writing the book. So keep a space for the table of content and go to the next one. I did some of the formatting stuff before even writing the book. You should insert the page number. Okay? If you don't know how to insert page number, you can watch some very easy 1-minute tutorial videos that tells you absolutely how to insert the page numbers. So that's what you do. Okay. And then what I did was I took around half a month to write the book. Now, let me tell you, what I personally did is, for my chapters, I had 8 chapters in my book, like 8 chapters in my book. And these 8 chapters were in such a way that I put like the chapter 1, just the title of the chapter 1 in one page, and then I went to the next page. And I went to the next page, and from that page I started writing like the sub-chapters of that chapter. That's the type of author I am. And actually it helped, because in that way it just looks more organized. So what you do is you kind of create like a page where you just write chapter 1 and then the title of that chapter. And then what you do, put a page break. Don't put spaces, put something that's called page break. You'll find it under Insert tab. You insert page breaks at the end of all the chapter titles. Like, once you create like the chapter, suppose you finish writing the chapter 1. So you have to put a page break. And after that page break, what you do is you go to the next page. Of course, the cursor will automatically be gone to the next page. Then you go to the next page and then write your chapter title again, and then you insert another page break. And then from the next page, you start writing the sub-chapters to that chapter. Anyways, I know this is so confusing, and I got so confused when I started it. I literally got so confused. But when you get confused, just, Just breathe a little bit, just walk around a little bit, and you will figure it out by yourself anyway. And if you can't, ChatGPT is there, okay, to help you. Use ChatGPT for good things. Like, don't use ChatGPT to copy paste a writing that doesn't add any value. Just use ChatGPT to your assistants, you know, not to copy. Anyways, now comes the formatting. After I finished writing this book, I got so happy. But recently I started formatting the book, and I'm proud that I already formatted the things that I wanted to, but some of the things were still needed to be formatted. Like, for example, the chapter title. The way the chapter title is, I knew that I would face problems later to even know which one is a chapter title if I don't highlight it in some way. So while I was already writing it, I kind of put the chapter titles and the sub-chapter titles as like bold form or italic form or something like that, so that I can easily navigate which one is which when I start formatting. So it made my work whole lot easier. So just some days ago, like 2 or 3 days ago, I started formatting, and today I can officially say that my formatting is finished, it's done. I still need to revise it once again, but let me tell you how I did all the format and some of the stuff that made me really confused. I need to address them. So the first problem I had was when I watched the tutorial video on YouTube, they use something called the mirrored margins in order to format. And I was totally confused at this thing. And you are probably as well, because if you're a beginner, you know, like I was. I still consider myself a beginner though. Anyway, so once you do this mirrored margin thing, like you click on the mirrored margin, and the tutorial video asked me to add the custom mirrored margins at the gutter 0.12 and outside as 0.6. And I was really confused. I was like, okay, fine. But that guy did it that way, but his Word document looked weird. Just didn't look aligned to me. And I was like, what the heck? Then it doesn't even look good. But then I realized that actually, you know, when your book is going to be printed, you know, like once you publish it in Amazon KDP, your book, you'll probably publish it for ebook or paperback or both. For me, it will be both. Now, for ebook, the book is going to be digital, right? People are going to read it across various devices. And for the printed version or the paperback version, they're going to read it in like papers. So in papers, there's something called the bleed, like, right? Like for the, like this part, you know, like some of the pages are going to go inside this like binding. So that is the reason that the inside margins need to be a slightly wider than the outside margins. And because of that reason, the mirrored margin is like that. So even if it looks weird in the editing mode, trust me, there's something called the reading mode. So once you click on that reading mode, you will understand in MS Word that it's not weird, okay? It's just how it looks weird in the editing mode because it's just the margins that you're seeing it as extra, which will actually not be extra. It will go away when you do the binding, right? I guess you know what I mean. Anyways, so the basic formatting, what I did was the line spacing as multiple at 1.25, then put the after at 8 on the paragraph spacing section. Then what I did was I justified all the body text, and trust me, I faced incredible weird problems on this one. Like, what basically this justification thing does is, let me first tell you a little bit about what these alignments are actually. Like, in Word, there are 4 alignment system: left aligned, middle aligned, right aligned, and justified. So the left aligned is essentially the way that when you write some text on the pages, it starts from the left side, okay, and then it just goes from the left side in that way, right? So that's how it is done. In the middle aligned one, it always looks like more aligned in the middle, the text, and then the right ones looks more aligned in the right. So once you actually write, it actually is left aligned because that's the default system. But most of the authors actually keep their book in the justified section. This justified thing is not right aligned, it's not left aligned, it's not any of those three. It's just justified. And what justified means is that the words will be stretched out on both sides of the pages in a very organized way. If you kind of edit it and click on the justified, you will know what I mean, okay? Yeah, kind of like this. But after justifying the text, I faced so many problems. What I faced was some of the words that I wrote kind of spaced out. Like, one word was like in some of the sentences I saw a weird alignment. Like, overall it looked organized, but suppose a sentence had 3 words, and the first word was on the leftmost side, and the middle word was on the middle, and the third word, or the last word, was literally on the right side of the page, and there was huge gap in the middle. And once I tried to put the backspace and delete those space, the words would just march together like that. And I was like, what the heck? How do I get out of this? So, of course, my ChatGPT friend, I asked him, and what he recommended me was that you have to essentially select those spaces manually with your mouse. Like, select just that huge space, and what you do is essentially you click on Control plus Shift plus Space. So you have to click 3 buttons at the same time, and in that way what happens is that extra large space will kind of reduce itself to a smaller space. Even though you do it, there are a lot of places you probably have to do it, and it's a lot of work. So I don't think you necessarily need to do it in all sorts of text, like, because if like one sentence there is like, I don't know, 5 words and the spaces are not very perfectly aligned, but it still looks good visibly, then it's fine. You don't have to. But if it's like super awkward, like a sentence has 3 words like my one, and there's like 1 word here, 1 word here, 1 word here, and in the middle there's a huge gap, then those are the ones that you should change. Now, that's what I did, okay? And it was a little bit of work, but after that, I faced another problem. When I went to the reading mode or the preview mode, you know, some of the texts that weren't in that extra space way actually became extra spaced. And some of the words that were extra spaced actually got proper. So what I did in those ones is I kind of used my own creativity and tried to take some of the words to the next para. I don't know really how to fix that, but that's how I thought I should be fixing it. So that's what I did. Anyways, I don't want to talk about it because it was a bit tiring. Now what you do after all this removing thing is you should give a final check to the page breaks, like, are the page breaks proper? And remove all sorts of extra spacing. Some of the formatting stuffs you should keep extra spacing, like just to make it look the way that you want it to look. But try to avoid it as much as possible because in the reading mode it kind of gets fudged up. What you do after that is you go to the title of all the chapters, like you want to appear in the table of contents. you have to middle align it. Like, I don't really know why people or other YouTubers never talked about this. It's something I had to figure out by myself and with the help of my assistant ChatGPT, which is, even though you justified all the other body texts, the chapter titles should be middle aligned, okay? Now, don't give a lot of spaces like I did in order to middle align it, because trust me, you won't really understand what's actually the middle of the page because of the mirrored margin thing. So the best way that you can actually middle align is you have to click on the middle align option that's under the paragraph section in MS Word, because otherwise there's no way that you will actually understand what's in the middle. And trust me, after putting the middle align thing, it will still look like it's in one side if you're using the mirrored margins, okay? If you already are using the mirrored margins. But that's the catch here, like, because it's just, the mirrored margin is just like that. It works like that. Middle alignment in the paragraph section. Okay, that's what you do. I set the gutter to 0.12 and the outside to 0.6, and the other ones are the same as it was. So that's what you do. Go to the margins and custom margins, and then do what I just told you to do. Okay, after this, what you do is you create the table of contents. Now, how you do it is, after that quad page, or if you don't have quads, then after the copyright page, you essentially write the table of content, right? You have to select your chapter titles as heading 1 and the sub chapter titles as heading 2. And I know once you click on the heading 1 and heading 2, it's probably not going to be in your desired font. So there's an option and you can change the font there. Okay, so after changing the font, what you do is you go to the reference tab, and then in the page that you want your table of contents to be in, you click on the references on the table of content, and if you kind of look around, you will actually find out or understand what's going on here. Make sure to toggle off the page number button, because if it's an ebook, then you don't want page numbers to show up. Okay, because in different reading devices, the page numbers can actually change. So for an ebook, you don't need page numbers. Instead there is a box where it's called like use hyperlinks instead of page number. Just keep that checked on and off the page number one. Okay, so that's what you do. After you do it, review all the things, use the reading mode, see if it looks good and best at both the reading mode and the normal edit mode. After you're done with that, save a copy of this, and now you have to edit for the paperback version. As you've already done most of the edits, what you do right now is basically you have to check on the page number of the table of contents, right? And off the hyperlink thing, right? Because this one is for the paperback version, which will be printed, right? So you turn off the hyperlink and just stick with the page number right now. After that, what you do, oh, by the way, I also faced a lot of problems on the table of contents, okay? And it kind of went weird in a reading mode, but I figured it out. And if I actually mention it, it will be a long video, and I don't want that. I've already told a lot about this. So if you face a problem, take the help of ChatGPT. That's what I can say right now. But let's just go to the next thing. What do you have to do next? So what I did after that, after the page number thing, is I added the header, and yeah, so I added the header. So what you do is you basically go to the header, that's somewhere in the tabs, like I'm not really sure if it's under the insert or the home tab or some other tab, but well, you'll essentially know, I guess. If you don't, ask ChatGPT again. So in that header, select different odd and even pages. You don't really want those headers at the top of the book, which is like the title of the book or the author's name, to show up in the first page. So click or toggle on that box that says different first page, and also toggle on the box that says different odd and even pages, because you want your header to be different for those pages. So for the even pages, you can select your author name. For the odd pages, you can select the title of the book. Okay, and for aligning it to the center, there is an option. So you can again do the middle alignment, and after that you can change the font. I kind of put italics on that. That's basically what you do. It makes your book look professional, like it does in most of the other self-help books or any other even fiction books. So that's it. And the final thing is you just review it in print layout form and also reading mode form, like both the forms, and that's how essentially you do it. Didn't really expect it to be a long video, but that was my entire experience. And of course there are a lot of things that some I faced and also I learned, but it would be a freaking longer video if I just say all of it. But just know that you'll figure it out if you are kind of trying to self-publish. Hopefully this video helped you and especially took some of the confusions away from you. But that was my entire experience, and I thought that I had to tell all of it. That's it for this video. Then I will see you in the next video. In a few days I'm going to travel just for a trip in my country. It's in the forest, and after coming back from the trip, I will essentially you know, kind of create a video that shows my travel experience on that, hopefully. Okay, there won't be internet in that place though, but once I come back I will. I hope if you're interested in travel as well, then you should stick to this. Of course my videos will be more on my experiences, different things I learned, my travel experience and everything like that, all sorts of self-development things. But yeah, if you have any questions, you can just say it down in the comment section. And also, if you are interested in self-development or something like that, or just want to know about life experiences and various things and how someone like me achieves things one by one, you can subscribe and like the video. That's it for this video. Also, share this video to people who you think actually likes this kind of video or loves to know new stuffs, experiences in life that just don't sit around and be like, okay, my life is so bad or something like that. Anyways, so that's it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. I'm literally showing this off, but anyways, bye. Thanks for watching this video.